Hey everyone, Tinksy here, also known as Cameron, and welcome to my Super Mario Bros. Movie review. Now, this is going to be my first ever movie review on this channel, so if you are looking forward to more of these movie reviews, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. I plan, hopefully, to having some more movie reviews. Because life gets pretty busy, but, I'm hoping to get more stuff out like this. I just got out of the movie theater maybe about 2 hours ago or so, and I've had a little bit of time to ponder on the film and kind of see what things I like and what things I don't like, and I have come to the conclusion. And that conclusion is that this movie, it's just fine. There's nothing special about it. Does that mean it's a bad movie? No, it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. I think the critics gave it like a 55% last time I checked. It might have changed. I don't know. But it's not that bad. Is it a 95% like the audience is giving it? No, it's not. But there's both sides to every story. But I'm going to give you both sides because I've looked at this movie from both a critic's perspective and an audience perspective. And I'm going to tell you guys both perspectives. First, we're going to start with the positives of this movie. This movie is gorgeous to look at. I think Illumination, they usually do a very good job with keeping, the aspect of the worlds. They keep it so beautiful, and I think their animations are really nice. They've always been nice ever since the first Despicable Me, when they first came to the forefront in animation studios. And I think they really did a nice job on creating the characters. The characters look really nice, the worlds look really nice, and I can kind of see myself stepping into those worlds. And Illumination did a very, very good job with that. Also, the score, some of the score, not the soundtrack. I'll talk about the soundtrack later, but the score was a very, very, very nice, addition to the movie. They didn't have to do a lot with the score, but they added a lot of old tunes from the games. They even had a particular character. They had Bowser, Jack Black. They had him playing the piano and playing these specific tunes that you hear in the video games, and I thought that was a really nice touch. And speaking of the voice acting, I think there's some really good voice acting, and there's also some really bad voice acting, which I'll get into pretty much later. But some of the voice acting, especially Jack Black and Charlie Day, I love them as Bowser and Luigi, respectively. I just think that Jack Black is just good in everything he does. I think he can be a comedic actor. I think he could be a very serious actor. And then when it comes to stuff like this, I think they wrote Bowser around him, and I think that was a good choice on their part, especially with the screenplay. And Bowser was a very, very nice character in this, and especially Luigi. I think Luigi, although he was kind of a little done dirty in this movie, I think Charlie Day did a good job encapsulating his voice. And to build upon Charlie Day's performance of Luigi, I think him and Mario had a really good chemistry, especially. Then that was touched upon in the beginning of the film. And not only were they really nice chemistry-wise, but I think, especially when you go later on into the film, the relationship really bonds even more. And to talk about the ending was probably the best part of the whole movie. The beginning and the end were probably the most well choreographed, put together parts of the movie, and I think that was very, very nice cohesion, especially for the film and the screenplay. And talk about the mixed aspects. I think mixed aspects have to go back to the voice casting. People like Keegan-Michael Key as Toad and Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, and several other voice acting. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. They were just okay. They were fine. Chris Pratt especially. I think Chris Pratt was just fine too. And I know a lot of people kind of gave him crap, especially for being Mario and being cast as Mario. But that's Illumination's fault. That's Illumination and Nintendo. I don't know why the hell they would put Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario. But they kind of made a little right around of where they didn't have Chris Pratt doing a full Italian accent for 90 minutes straight. Okay, they didn't do that. But they kind of like made fun of Chris Pratt having to do an Italian accent in a commercial that Mario and Luigi made. And if you see in the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, I mean, the voice casting was just fine. There were some miscasts. There were some good people as well. And then there's another casting job for this movie that I just did not like, period. And I'll get into that more later. And just to get into the negative areas of the movie, the soundtrack was god awful. Some songs that were played in this movie had no correlation with what was going on. You had, I think you had "Staying Alive." Oh, "Take on Me" by Aha with a driving scene. Like, what? And then "Welcome to the Jungle" when they're building the cars. Like, what? What does building cars have to do with "Welcome to the Jungle" by Gun? Like, it just didn't make sense. And "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" was played. Again, I get it, they're in Brooklyn, but you could have played a Mario song when they were walking through the streets of Brooklyn, just to make those people that have been waiting so long for a Mario movie to be like, oh, that's so nostalgic. They just didn't do that. And there's just really bad soundtrack choices with this film. And I think Nintendo, Illumination, whoever's in charge of that, could have done a better job. Also, the plot. The plot, there's no plot. There's just a bunch of, oh, well, that was convenient moments of the film where convenience after convenience after convenience after convenience just totally happens out of nowhere. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Like the reason that Peach, gets Mario to do her stuff with her was that Mario just ran to the castle and was like, oh, your brother's was taken? Okay, well, come along with us. No qualifications, no nothing. And Mario went through this entire training montage that lasted like 3 minutes, and he was the best person ever. He was basically on Daisy's level within the first day, almost. Full day he was on Daisy's level, and Daisy, had been in the Mushroom Kingdom for years and years, and she was princess way before Mario was even, came into the Mushroom Kingdom, and he was already almost on her level, which made no sense to me. And so I felt like they could have added another 30 minutes to the movie to, add more to the training montage or, something along those lines, because I just felt like the plot was hugely rushed, the training was hugely rushed, and Mario was just the best, suddenly like that. And that kind of irked me a little bit. And one of my biggest negatives, and not to knock on the guy, but Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong made no sense whatsoever. I believe one of the jokes in the movie was that Seth Rogen laughed. And it wasn't a Donkey Kong laugh. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a Seth Rogen laugh. He just laughed, and I'm like, oh, that's not Donkey Kong. That's Seth Rogen behind the microphone. I just heard him and him only, and not Donkey Kong. I mean, again, that's not Seth Rogen's fault. That's Illumination's fault. And like I had said prior, there was a lot of characters that were miscast. It's like Nintendo's like, hey, Illumination, there's these really popular people out here. Let's just cast them in the movie because they've been in so many other good movies. I'm like, come on now. And one last negative thing on top of this. The beginning and end were about 15 to 20 minutes each. Everything in the middle dragged. And it being dragged means no sense because this movie is an hour and 30 minutes long. It shouldn't drag. Everything was rushed. They tended to rush it, and it just dragged. And it makes no sense logically, but that's how I can explain it to you. And I get it, okay? You're supposed to rush through this because the Mario world, it doesn't have a lot of lore, but it has a lot of lore, if that makes sense. Everyone knows of Mario, and the Mario world doesn't have to have a lot of explaining or understanding, so I can kind of understand why they rushed through everything, but come on. I mean, maybe work on the plot a little bit more. I wanted a better plot. I just thought of one positive that I should have added at the beginning of this video, but I think the whole Jack Black Bowser wanting to marry Peach was hilarious. It was probably the only one of the two comedy bits in this movie that made me laugh actually, and again, that's a credit to how good Jack Black is in this film, how good he is in this film. That's pretty much it. I mean, the movie, again, was fine. A lot of negatives, a lot of positives, a lot of mixed things. But overall, for this being my first movie review, I'm rating movies out of 10, and I'm going to rate this a 6 out of 10. Again, nothing too special, nothing too, great, out of this world, not Puss in Boots levels. Okay, if you're expecting a Puss in Boots, like type of movie, you're not gonna get that. Okay, this is a typical Illumination movie where everything is hugely rushed. It's really easy on the eyes, and that's all I can really give you at this particular moment. But again, rating is 6 out of 10. And that's going to do it for my Super Mario Bros. Review. I appreciate you guys so much for checking out the video. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, which are going to be down in the description, as well as my Letterboxd, DallasCam19. I post all my star reviews and stuff like that of the films I watch and the reviews of the future that I'm going to be doing on this channel. And again, thank you so much. I know there's plenty of other movie reviews out there of people's experiences, especially critics and audiences alike. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I really appreciate it. And as always, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, what the hell are you doing? Like and subscribe, damn it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.